Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is Taking It Personally. This is a vlog, if you will, and it belongs to my personal blog, takingitpersonally.blog. If you're not a subscriber or a follower of my work, meh, whatever, I don't care. It's mainly just an outlet for me to express my feelings and emotions, if you will. And today, I kind of wanted to talk about something that had been on my mind for quite some time. A lot of people in America tend to stop at the bachelor level of education, their undergrads. And I kind of wanted to talk about the reality of your life as somebody with a post grad degree. So we're talking master's degrees, doctorate degrees, PhDs, um, and what that has an impact on when it comes to employment. So a lot of people don't know this, or people who don't have post grads don't seem to understand. They think, oh, if I get a post grad, I'm going to have a lot more money. I'm going to have better job opportunities. Getting a job is going to be a lot easier. The sad thing is, it's kind of the opposite. It's almost 100% a lie that we've been fed since we were young. Having a post grad degree or upper level degree is actually a hindrance to you getting a job. Will you get a better paying job? Absolutely, sure. You'll get upper management jobs eventually, someday. Not really. Um, the reality of it is, it comes basically down to this: master's degree, more or less, scares away the majority of employers. So the majority of employers, or the majority of the jobs that you're going to look out for, are going to be absolutely terrified to see that master's degree. When they see master's, they're going to probably crap their pants and reject you immediately. The best chance you have at getting a job is actually leaving off your master's degree and just going with your undergrad, bachelor's degree, maybe an associate's, because once you get into the post grad realm and the graduate realm, you tend to fall into overqualified, and that's it. And I get this a lot. I get where people are coming from, but to me, the assumption of being overqualified is an asinine conclusion to be drawn. Like, somebody who is overqualified just has more experience, and just because that person, let's say, has a master's in administration and they're applying for a job in a different field, that masters doesn't necessarily make them overqualified. Let's say they're going for a job as a warehouse uh, worker or a manager or whatever position they apply to in the warehouse field. Just because their master's degree is in one field doesn't make them overqualified in another field, right? So you're basically throwing away a great employee who is very smart and can probably excel at his job. And the assumption is, oh, well, they're going to get bored. Well, here's the thing. Let's say you have a PhD, right? And he's applying for a job at Barnes and Noble, right? Oh, Barnes and Noble doesn't exist. I'm showing my age. So let's say he gets a job at, I'm trying to think of what still exists. Walmart management, or subtype of upper management at Amazon, right? People are going to be like, oh, this guy's got a PhD. He's definitely overqualified. He's going to get bored and leave, reject, right? Well, here's the thing. If you don't think the PhD knows that he's applying for a job that is well below what his normal pay is, that's kind of on you. That seems like mismanagement on your part, because the people with higher degrees who apply for lower positions, they know what they're doing. For example, I have often applied for jobs far below my skill set. Right, I went from making $20,000 to $24,000 a month in the U.S. down to working as a physician in Vietnam for $5 an hour, and that was 6 days a week. I made about 80 million VND a month. So, like, I knew what I was doing. I knew the pay wasn't as good. However, what was the difference? The difference was I had a lot more free time. Not necessarily with that very last position, because it was 6 days a week. However, I had more free time. I had a better work-life balance. I had less stress because of the type of job that I had gotten into. So in America, my life was very stressful in a sense of the type of workload I had and the responsibilities. So I went for a job that didn't demand as much of me so that I could actually fulfill more of what I wanted in life. I wanted to spend more time with the kids, more time with the family. I wanted to do a bit more traveling. So I downsized my job. I still had good money. Um, so I knew what I was doing, and a lot of people are in the same boat. I'll give you an example. I have a friend who has, I believe it's a master's degree in some type of engineer. He's some type of aviation engineer who works on some type of advanced aeronautics, right? What job did he apply for? This is probably the smartest guy I've ever met, and he applies for a low end job at Walmart. And everybody's like, why, man? You're an aeronautical engineer with a master's degree and almost a decade of work experience. You could be making bank. And he says, oh, I know. I just don't want to. I want this type of lifestyle. I've done that. I've been there. I did what I wanted to do. They no longer manufacture the parts or the technology that they used to because now we've moved on. And that's something a lot of people don't consider. Okay, well, yeah, this person has a master's, this person has a doctorate, but maybe they want this position for other reasons. What can this person bring to my company? That's what I think a lot of people leave out. And the reality of the situation tends to come down to this. When you get a master's level degree, it's in your best interest not to mention it on a resume, which seems to defeat the purpose because it is an astounding achievement to say to the world, look, I went through associates, I went to bachelor's, I went to my master's, and I'm at the top of my field. I know my stuff. I am a very educated person. You know, it's an achievement to get a master's degree. But then you have the people who get their doctorate degree, professional doctorate, not necessarily your philosophical doctorate, which is your PhD. Normally it's your professional doctorate, MD, your JD, something of that term, and then you can practice law, you can practice medicine, you can practice whatever other field that you need that doctorate for. And then you have your PhD. It's where usually your scientists, people in theology, people in philosophy, more of your humanitarian and arts, high level management and scientists. These guys are at the top of their field, and yet getting a job for them is next to impossible. And that's because a lot of people are already scared off at the fact that you have a master's degree. You even hint at having a doctorate degree, and it's going to be a barren wasteland. And I think it's kind of sad that we're in a world and in a time where you have really, really qualified people looking for work who are being turned away because they're a good fit for the job. It's like me running a company and saying, you're an excellent fit. You're so qualified. You've beat out every other candidate. So I'm rejecting you. I'm going to go with the guy who has less experience. I'm going to pick the guy who has less qualifications and who won't do as good a job as you. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. As somebody who has a business, I would hire the most qualified person for the job, regardless of if they're overqualified or not. So basically what I'm trying to say, and I've wrapped this rambling nonsense up long enough, is that I kind of think that the whole notion of overqualified is a cop-out. And I think that if you have a master's degree, you should be selected for the job you are applying to, provided that you meet the skill set they're looking for. Just because you have more than what they're asking for shouldn't hurt you in the job market, because the job market is already bad enough. It's already hard enough to get a job when you don't have qualifications, but now you have all the qualifications and then more. So it's like saying, hey, I went above and beyond to get the qualifications for this job. I spent the time, I catered my resume to beat out all the other candidates, because I know you have a lot of applicants. Every job's got like maybe 1,000 applicants. For example, when I put a job out for the Wilson Foundation, holy crap, I had thousands of people from all over the world. I had India, I had Vietnam, I had Kenya, I had Nigeria, I had the U.S. I had people in the U.K. I had people in the Philippines. I have people from all over the world sending me in resumes. So I understand, like, the need to be. You have a lot of other competition, and if you want that job, you've got to have the best resume. But now we're at a point where if you have the best resume, you're going to get rejected. So you have to dumb down the resume. But now you don't have enough qualifications. And these hiring managers in today and age don't have a median. There's no, oh, you have all the qualifications and a little extra, you're hired. Now it's, you have all the qualifications, rejected. You don't have all the qualifications, sorry, then I'm sorry, you're not good enough for the job. So it's either you do or you don't, and no matter what, you end up not getting it, and the workforce faces a high turnover rate. But that's my 2 cents on the matter. So I think that it's not talked about enough. I don't think we have enough people with their postgrads or graduate degrees or doctorate degrees talking about what it's really like looking for a job once you have your postgrad degree. Like, it's not easy. It's a nightmare. And it's actually, I would say, harder than not having a degree, if not the same. Like, if you don't have any qualifications, it's just as hard to get a job as it is if you have a doctorate degree. A doctorate just scares everybody away. Not having enough credentials scares everybody away because they don't think you're good enough. You're either too good or you're not good enough, and there's no in between. And it's something I think that the job market needs to improve on. However, given we are in the economical state that we are in, at least in the U.S., I don't see it ever changing. But that's my 2 cents. I've rambled on for 11 minutes now. This is probably my longest video. So have a good one, guys. I am sorry for the rant.